Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Now, we have a lot of stuff to go over today, and hopefully I can get through it. But what we have here is more damning news for Google. I wanted to make sure that the last video wasn't too long, so I'm going to do the same here. So what we have here is where Google and YouTube are in another huge problem because they keep on catching these L's. And this is from Glenn Greenwald saying, huge. A federal court judge rules in a case brought by the Trump DOJ and continued by the Biden DOJ that Google is an illegal monopoly and violated antitrust laws by abusing their search monopoly by forcing consumers to use its search engine. Remedies to be decided. And he goes on to say, I should also note that this decision is very beneficial to Rumble, which has long been suing Google on the ground that it illegally abuses its search engine antitrust power to suffocate competitors. I wrote about Rumble's big 2022 victory allowing the case to proceed. And this is what we have here pertaining to all this. I will go over it with you guys so you guys kind of get the idea. So, yeah, this is what we have. So there is panic inside Google, NASDAQ, Google. So, obviously Google, stuff like that. So, key points, which we're not going to go over. It says, in this conversation, Lee and Doug discussed the growing concerns within Google as AI-based search engines threaten to disrupt its dominance in the search market. They highlight how Google has already integrated AI into its search results, which has caused a decline in traffic for sites that previously ranked at the top. However, competitors like Twitter and Facebook are likely to develop their own AI-powered search features, potentially challenging Google's market share. The discussion also points out that Google is heavily reliant on its search and YouTube platforms, making it vulnerable if its search business declines. They agreed to revisit the topic in a few months to assess the progress of AI-driven search competitors. So, from the transcript, it's saying the Google has been by far and away the dominant search engine virtually worldwide. It's not true in Russia. It's not true in China because they sort of got the Great Walls up they don't want, right? They don't want that. So really, this is like 2.5 decade run for Google. All of a sudden, there's panic at Google that AI-based search will replace Google-based search. It looks to me like that might be possible. I think it's entirely possible. I mean, Musk has already talked about it. And you can bet everybody that wants a piece of the search pie is figuring out a way to use applications for AI for a new search engine. Well, what's interesting is, and this has happened in the last few months, if you do a search at Google right now, Google gives you a Google-based AI summary. It's now right, at the top right now. Which, again, there's been multiple problems with AI, with Google Search AI doing some horrendous stuff. So, we may want to calm down the Google AI stuff for a while here. A lot of people have lost traffic because of this. Because it used to be if you index number 1 with the Google algorithm, you were up there at the top unless somebody bought the sponsor spot. Exactly. Anybody who used to be in that pole position, you can't be there anymore. So 2 things have happened. The first one is that Google is using its own AI and is highlighting itself at the top. The other one, though, is that it looks like some people think that isn't good enough. You don't need anything else. You just need a super duper AI-based search, and that Google conceivably could lose a lot of its market share in the next year. Well, I think that is a given, and not that they will be toast, but they will be a go-to. But I think one of the things that bothers a lot of people is that it is censored to some degree, and that's why a lot of people go to DuckDuckGo and stuff like that, which is not much better than Google anymore, unfortunately. Because whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, whatever, if you want to find out about somebody or something, you want to be able to search for it. And a lot of that, I think, gets censored, and I think that will allow a lot of other AI competition to step in and say, hey, look, just like Musk says, with X now, we are not censored. You can say what you want, and within a reason. Something that I will believe now, what will happen now, is that Twitter will have its own search feature, full search feature like Google. They will have licensed that from one of the other super AI companies. And then you'll go to Facebook. It will have its own. And I don't mean like just like search Facebook. I mean where you're at Facebook and you have an AI-based search function that's the whole web. So that Google won't just have an AI competitor. It will have a whole bunch of AI competitors that are owned and operated by the people on the web who have the largest audience counts. I think that Elon Musk, if push comes to shove, will make his own like Google search engine type site. So Google has competition that he has to fear, and I think Rumble should go and do the same. Because competition makes for better outcomes, and we get to weed out the garbage and the corrupt when we do this. And the tough thing for Google is like, okay, if we lose a big share of our search business, we can really fall back on our cloud business. No, we can really fall back on our retail. Oh, we don't sell where you sell it. They don't have the bench to go if search starts to fall off. So, well, if you look at Google right now, it's Google Search and it's YouTube, which is actually to some degree a search-based video operation. They tried to make money on YouTube by turning it into a subscription business. If you look at their earnings, there's a little bit of that in there. But you make a very good point, and that is that Google is on a one-trick pony. Yep, that's it. That's all they've got. Well, yeah, because they built their empire upon this, and because they have to censor everything, it's a huge thing, right? So this is the Google stock. Google stock has been down the past 5 days, and it's gone, it's been stagnant going down for the first day or so. So it's actually been an incline up, so we'll see where this heads. But for the past 5 days, it's been down, and for 1 month, it's down even further, and then 6 months, it's up. But for fast month or two, it's been down. That's not looking too great for Google. And again, we have this from Chris Pavlovsky saying, today's decision confirms what everybody knows. Google is a monopolist. Rumble has been making this argument for years and are multiple antitrust lawsuits against Google, both currently ongoing. As court rejects Google's attempt to dismiss Rumble's antitrust lawsuit, ensuring vast discovery. And it says a federal district court in California on Friday denied Google's motion to dismiss a lawsuit alleging that the Silicon Valley giant is violating federal antitrust laws by preventing fair competition against its YouTube video platform. The lawsuit against Google, which has owned YouTube since its 2006 purchase for $1.65 billion, was brought in early 2021 by Rumble, the free speech competitor to YouTube. Its central claim is that Google's abuse of its monopolistic stranglehold on search engines to destroy all competitors to its various other platforms is illegal under the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, which makes it unlawful to monopolize or attempt to monopolize any part of the trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nations. Ooh! That is damning there, guys. That is huge. It is rare for antitrust suits against the four big tech corporate giants, Google, Facebook, Apple, and Amazon, to avoid early motions to dismiss. Friday's decision against Google ensures that the suit now proceeds to the discovery stage, where Rumble will have the right to obtain from Google a broad and sweeping range of information about its practices, including internal documents on Google's algorithmic manipulation of its search engine and the onerous requirements it imposes on companies dependent upon its infrastructure and to all but force customers to use YouTube. This is massive, guys. This is massive because we are going to end up finding out that Google has been using its algorithm, which we all know, that it's been, swaying things, making things be more into their favor and stuff like that. And it's not looking too great for Google. We're going to find a lot of things. Maybe that dreaded election interference, which would have a huge ramification on Google. This is not looking too great for the great company of Google and YouTube. And we have this here as well from New York Post saying Google is a monopolist. Search giant broke antitrust laws and landmark case. Judge rules. Google violated federal antitrust laws to build a dominant hold over the online search market. A federal judge said in an historic ruling Monday that could have wide-ranging implications for the future of the internet. Judge Amit Mehta sided with the Justice Department, which argued throughout last year's landmark trial that Google relied on anti-competitive payments to the likes of Apple, Samsung, and AT&T, including $26.3 billion in 2021 alone, to ensure its search engine is enabled by default in most smartphones. Mehta that ruled that Google violated Section 2 of the Sherman Antitrust Act in two markets, general search services and general text advertising, finding that the default search engine deals are exclusive and have anti-competitive effects. Google is a monopolist and has acted as one to maintain its monopoly, Mehta said in a lengthy opinion on the case. The ruling marked the first time in more than 2 decades that the DOJ has won an antitrust against big tech firm and could upend Google's lucrative digital ad business, which pulls in more than $300 billion in annual revenue. Because if this happens, guys, and they pull away this cripples Rumble. This cripples Google. It shutters it. And that is not good for Rumble in the slightest. It is actually incredibly bad. And we'll have to see how bad this is going to be for Google. I mean, it doesn't look good. If it's going to discovery phase, I think Google's cooked. I think Google is done. If this is all happening in California and the California judges are like, no, this needs to go on, that's massive. This is not looking good for Google at all. It's looking like a absolute downfall of what's happening here. And I think it's more to come because Google looks like it might be in a great deep downfall, and YouTube may change for the better in these coming lawsuits. So Google is losing its antitrust laws. It's being slammed by the Supreme Court by a judge, and we're getting W's here. Let's make the election another huge W. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.